So in today's lesson, we would consider changing the subject of the formula, otherwise known as transposing. So basically, when they ask us to do this, we're basically rearranging a formula to get whatever they're asking us to make the subject on one side of the equal sign and everything else on the other side of the equal sign. So let's go through some examples to get this explanation a bit clearer. So if we had, for example, v is equal to u plus t, and we're asked to make t the subject of the formula, what we need to do is we need to get t on one side and everything else on the other side. So we need to move this u across to the other side. So we minus u from both sides. So we will get v minus u is equal to t, because u minus u will be 0, and then we get v minus u on the left side. Therefore, t is equal to v minus u. I just rearranged the equation so that we have t on the left side and everything else on the right side. This is like the typical way it's written when we're asked to make the subject of the formula. Let's look at another example. This example was pretty straightforward. What if we were given 6x over 2 is equal to 3y over 4x, and we're asked to make y the subject? So what we could do, well, when we have a situation like this where we have two fractions on either side of the equal sign, we could simply, well, the shorter way to do it is to cross multiply. So we can multiply 4x by 6x and 2 by 3y. So we will get 2 multiplied by 3y is equal to 4x multiplied by 6x. 3 by 2 will give us 6y is equal to 6 by 4 will give us 24. X by x will give us x squared. So we have this y being multiplied by 6 on this side. So to get rid of this 6, we divide by 6. And whatever we do on this side of the equation, we also have to do on the other side. So dividing both sides by 6, we'll get y is equal to 24x squared divided by 6. And of course, if we simplify this, we'll get y is equal to, well, 6 into 6 is 1, and 6 into 24 will give us 4. Y is equal to 4x squared. Right, let's go on to another example. If we were given v is equal to 5 capital R divided by capital R minus common R. Now this is a tricky one. If we're asked to make capital R the subject, this is a tricky one because we have a capital R in the numerator and we also have a capital R in the denominator. So one thing to note is we can't simply just cancel these R's out. That wouldn't work. It would have worked if we had 5R over capital R multiplied by common R. We could have cancelled these R's out together. But we have capital R minus R. So that's a common mistake that persons tend to make. But this would not work. We have to treat this this term in the denominator as like one expression. So I normally put brackets, and that helps reduce the confusion. So we could get rid of this denominator now by multiplying both sides by the same expression, capital R minus common R. So on the left side, we will get v multiplied by capital R minus common R. The brackets here help us with clarity, is equal to 5R. The denominator cancels out because we multiplied by capital R minus R. Now we could use the distributive law to expand these brackets. So we'll get v multiplied by capital R, then v multiplied by common R. So we'll have V capital R minus V common R is equal to 5 capital R. So now we have two capital R's. What we want to do is group all the capital R's, or whatever term they're asking us, to make the subject, which in this case is capital R, on one side. So let's bring this 5R over to this side and carry the V common R over to the other side. So rewriting the equation, we will get V capital R. The 5R comes over to the other side, so it changes from positive to negative 5 capital R is equal to, we're taking this negative VR and carrying it over to the other side, so it changes to positive V common R. Now we have all the capital R's on one side. We could simply use factorization to factor this capital R out. So we would get capital R into V, because capital R by V gives us VR, minus 5, because minus 5 multiplied by capital R gives us minus 5R, is equal to V common R. And now, so we have this capital R here, but we need to get rid now of this V minus 5. So we simply divide both sides by V minus 5, and we'll get our answer. Capital R is equal to V common R over V minus 5. So whenever we have an expression like this with two variables in the denominator, we could use the brackets. That would help with the confusion, and multiply both sides by what's in this term here. We could view it as one term. Then we use the distributive law to expand the brackets. After that, we group the common terms with capital R, or whatever they're asking us to make the subject out, and then we use factorization to single it out, and then of course here we divide both sides by V minus 5 to get our subject as capital R. Good, so this is a slight tricky one that tends to catch a lot of people. Let's move on to another example with a square root in it. So if, for instance, we are given V is equal to the square root of 2GR, and we're asked to make R the subject of the formula. How do we get rid of this square root sign? This is the problem. So to get rid of the square root sign, we simply square it. So we're going to square this whole entire expression here, 2GR, square root of it. We're going to square it. And of course, what we do to one side of the equation, we also have to do to the other side. So the V becomes squared, V squared. So this simplifies to V squared is equal to 2GR. So we got rid of the square root sign by squaring. And now, right, so we're asked to make R the subject. So since we're multiplying by 2g here and we want to get rid of this 2g to get R alone, we divide both sides by 2g. So on this side we'll have R, and on the opposite side we'll have V squared divided by 2g. Therefore, R is equal to V squared over 2g, and that's our answer. So question, what would be the case if we had this same to make R the subject of the formula, but we were given V is equal to the cube root of 2GR? Well, the same principle applies with the square root. In order to get rid of this cube root sign, we need to cube this expression, this term. So if we have the cube root of 2GR, we simply make sure to use the brackets and cube this expression. And what we do to this side, we also have to do to the left side, so it becomes V cubed. Rewriting, we will get V cubed is equal to 2GR. So we got rid of the cube root sign by cubing. And to make R the subject, we simply now divide both sides by 2g. So we will get V cubed over 2g. Therefore, R would be equal to V cubed over 2G. So that's it for this topic, changing the subject of the formula or transposing. If you benefited at all from this video, feel free to like and subscribe.